What is going on, folks? It is the True Vapors Show number 159. God, I love to say it like that. What's going on? Actually, I got to do some reconfiguring real quick. So, I tell you what, we'll do buffets while I'm working on this.
Oh, look who finally showed up. Hey. And that's probably why you have to reconfigure, isn't it?
Probably so.
It is, right?
Don't blame me for your incapabilities of running a show, and also don't blame me because you have dial-up internet feel. Don't blame me for those two things.
I don't have dial-up internet, asshole. Okay,
you do have dial-up.
It's a little bit slow. That's all.
Hey, Phil, tell everybody what your upload speed is.
What was it last night?
18.
Oh, yeah. Really? Is that bad? Is that why it takes me 6 hours to upload a YouTube video?
Yeah. and you know why? Because he lives in Cape Coral, which is a retirement community. It's all old folks. Nobody cares about the internet. So they're all paying like $70 a month, and they have 18 upload speed because nobody complains.
Right. Anything else, pal, while we're here? Anything? How about we make
fun? Let me get started. I'll let you know.
Would you like this? You want to start on my Skechers now?
In a little bit. What's up, guys?
Because I have a lovely pair on today. Look at those. They're really nice right there.
Mike, what's up? Pagan, what's up?
What's up, man?
It's been a while since we've talked. Everybody okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
everybody looking fine.
Come on, ST, you can do it.
I'm getting it.
I got the memo on the black shirt. Just wanted to be like you guys today.
Oh, hey.
Nice.
Look at us.
So you gotta add a little color.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. I think. Hold on. Yeah, there we are. We are good right there. All right. Let's try this one more time. Let's be like kind of official and stuff like this. It is the True Vapor Show number 159. We have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 special guests. You never know what you're going to get on here. They look special anyway. But first of all, before we start off with our special ed... Nah, I won't say that. Our special guest, take it away, Mark.
You were gonna call us special ed guests. I knew it.
It's okay. It's really okay.
The D Pro with the Nada, DNA 200 with the BTFC, the Recurve with the Recurve, and the Orion with nothing. Let's see, Immersive Vape Stash, Strawberry Milk. We got, what is this? Icing on the Flakes. And then we got some 12 milligram tobacco in the Orion. That's it. Take it away, Mr. We'll give it to Phil. Take it away, Phil.
Hey, what was that little box that you have? What's that called?
The Orion.
Oh yeah, that one. The one that I don't have. Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure that was what it was. Actually, I am vaping a Proton with an Aries. I am vaping a Chroma with a Zenith. I am vaping the EQ. And for the next review, I am vaping the Galaxy's MTL RDTA on a no-name Avatar Squawk box.
Wow.
Take it away, Dimitri.
How come you don't have a recurve squonk box? That's what I want to know. Proton murdered out with a 2 mil TBD version Aries because I like it because it's shorter.
What did you just call it? Murdered out? Did you just say?
Yeah.
You're so cool.
You know what that means, Phil? Do you want to Google it? Do you want to?
You are trying so hard to be cool, pal. It's okay.
Do you want to wiki it? You know what it is?
It's all blacked out. I know what it means.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Taros pod. This ridiculous looking pod from eLeaf, which is
God, that thing is ugly.
The iWoo, which definitely shows that China is out of names. Galaxy's RDTA on a DNA box.
I would have designed that differently.
The MPO life. Yeah, you would. Mike, go ahead.
Ready. I'm vaping on a Recurve Squonk with the Sahara RDA. Also vaping on the Drop Dead on the Ronin X2. Where are you? Recurve with Recurve. Proton with the Engine V2. Detonator with the MK RTA. Lemon Pod.
Oh, gosh.
Lost Vape Orion.
Oh, there's another one of those. Everybody's got one.
Infinix. Liquids I'm vaping on is some Alter Ego Crooks. some smooze, some raspberry custard from Royal, some Acai Original, and where's the last one? Where are you? There you are. Some Acai Strawberry.
Jesus Christ, Mike just made $1,700. That was amazing.
In the pod, I'm vaping on Acai Berry. Actually, no, I don't get paid to show all that. That's what I like.
I'm fucking with you.
I'll be honest.
Actually, Mike is taking it easy tonight on the buffet. So
Yeah, I made it actually short and sweet. I don't want to put you guys in shock.
All right, well, Recurve Squonk. I love this little thing right here with the drop solo. And that's all the big boy stuff. And I did something in a memorial type thing towards Phil and Dimitri here. The Chroma with the Zenith. Look at that right there.
Nice.
Also, I mean, I know this doesn't have your name on it, but
Here it comes.
the EQ, yes.
Right.
And y'all don't have your name on this one, but you should. The Infinex. But anyway.
Wait, don't you have one of those Orion things?
No.
Are you sure?
I'd like to have one, but
He's
don't
not in the
have
cool
one.
kids club.
Yeah, I'm not a cool kid, so I
Me,
don't.
Scott, Phil,
yeah.
all came out from the pooper. Unlike Fagin and Mike, they came out with roses.
Yeah, I'm like the little bottom feeder.
That's a Greek expression, by the way. It's not really dirty, but it is a Greek expression.
Oh goodness. Well, so if you've read the title, what is next? I think we need to just go ahead and jump on into this because somebody was running late, and I won't say any names anyway. But
It was Dimitri, Scott. He was the one that was running late.
I do apologize. My wife came in from Greece last night, so we just a lot of stuff going on. Sorry.
I'm curious in case this topic goes for a little while, and I know you've got a show to start right after this one goes off, so I want to jump right into it. At the moment, have y'all have something that's about to hit the market again?
Yes. We've had a lot of requests for a 22 millimeter Zenith. Just to backtrack a little bit, the Zenith tank is doing fantastic in Europe, but obviously the style of vaping in Europe versus the US is a little bit different. It's a little bit more MTL. There's a little bit more smokers. A lot of the vape shops, it hasn't gone really sub-ohm. So, believe it or not, we sell more tanks in the country of. Oh, we see we lost Phil. Now look. Look what I'm talking about. See, his internet is shit. It's shit. I'm telling you. He doesn't believe.
Did you lock Mark?
No, I didn't lock it.
Okay. Well, he'll hop back in if he's where he's floating.
But anyway, as I was saying, we sell more tanks in France, Zenith tanks, than we do in the entire United States, which is kind of funny. Because that's just the way. A lot of the vape shops are just clouds. But we've had a lot of requests for a 22 millimeter Zenith. So the 22 millimeter Zenith is being released. Actually, it started yesterday, and we wanted to pair it up with a small box again to have a good starter kit for smokers. So we paired it up with a Coolfire, which is the Coolfire Mini, which has been a really good device for Anakin, with just a couple of changes that we did while we were in China last week. So it's an existing product that's on the market with a 22 millimeter Zenith in some really cool colors. And I think that the color scheme that we chose, something different, two-tone, something that we don't see a lot in the market.
Yeah,
trying to make it a little bit more. I'm sorry?
I saw the pictures.
Yeah, just trying to make it a little bit more, again, desirable for somebody to be interested in vaping. So we did like a gold to black and then a white to black and then some solid, kind of little unique, different style colors as well, too. So immediately, the 22 millimeter Zenith by itself, and then the kit is being released sometime this week, and we're really excited about it as well too. It utilizes again all the same Z coils that are on the market, so it doesn't create confusion on the market, and it also helps the vape shops. One of the biggest things that we hear, and I'm sure you guys hear it from the vape shop owners, is like, oh, here comes another tank, here comes another 5 different coils to go with it. So we have chosen for the platform series all the way up to the end of 2018 that all the products are coming out. They're all compatible with the Z coil. So by the end of the 2018, there'll be 4 different products that all utilize the same coil.
Nice. Well, that's the way it should be anyway.
You're right.
Same coil. I mean, that's why, there goes Phil again. That's why, like everybody was doing at one point. Remember the Aspire coils, sub-ohm coils?
Yes.
Everybody was doing that same style, and now everything is doing the same style, like smoke coils.
Yeah.
You know, so because of that reason, people don't want to stock up on all different brands of coils.
Yeah, I think that you guys will agree that we're kind of in a very difficult transition. I'm going to talk about the United States mostly, but we're in a very difficult transitioning period for vape shops. So I don't know what you guys are hearing, but what I'm hearing is that things are tough, right?
Yeah.
So we had the golden age of the vape shop, which I will consider 2015 to 2017. I think that was a golden age where they were just opening up vape shops constantly, and business was really good. Everybody was chasing the dragon. Every week you'd put something new, people would buy it. But it's just not like that anymore.
You know why, too?
I'm sorry?
You want to know why?
Sure.
Because now you go into any gas station, any tobacco shop, Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many places selling vape gear. And people are going in these places and getting their vape gear.
Sure.
Instead of going into a vape shop.
And also, I also think, Mike, that that we kind of forgot about the smoker as well too. I think a lot of the vape shops cater to just the existing vapors, and in any business that you have, right? It's not just vaping. Any restaurant business, you know, if you don't get new customers, things get tough. You know, even for a funeral home, if you don't have people dying and having new customers, you're going to go out of business.
Right.
So I think that we created this base, and this base started becoming, you know, the advanced vapor. So, and I think a lot of them just shifted their attention towards that. And then, you know, the advanced vapor, unfortunately, is not loyal. And I don't mean that in the bad sense. It's just that when you're an advanced vapor, you know what you want, and then you figure out what you want. You know, you don't get that same excitement going to the vape shop like you did, you know, when you first started vaping. You know,
right.
The beginning vapor has that excitement, like, oh, I'm going to go to the vape shop, I'm going to try flavors. And I've been vaping for 4 or 5 years. You know, you just, you know, you can buy your stuff online or whatever. You know, you find deals and so forth. So I think it's time for us, as far as me and Phil concerned, you know how we are. It's not like we're saying screw the sub-ohm crowd, but we're just trying to focus on those products that I think is our specialty. This is what we're good at. So we're hoping that more and more that the vape shops will go back to trying to attract smokers, and we're hoping also that there will be a shift in the United States where we're going to start getting more people to vape again, just like we did in the past couple of years, because I think we kind of slowed down on conversion rates. And it's been proven as well too with the data that we're getting from global data. You know, we've captured maybe 7% of the smokers in the last 10 years in the United States. That's not a lot, guys. No. I mean, if you think about the overall scope of vaping in 10 years being unregulated and being where we haven't had anybody over us, you know, so forth. Okay, I'll give you the last 4 or 5 years being unregulated. It's still not a lot of people vaping.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do with our products.
Well, I've got a question, because obviously this is your product. Why is this not in like American vendors shops?
Right.
I'm only seeing this particular device on the Inikin store right now.
Yeah.
Is there a reason for that?
Vapor DNA has it. My Vapor Store has it. Element Vapes has it. I mean, so a lot of the big online sellers have it as well too. The ZFO. I mean, there is online sites that carry it. As far as vape shops are concerned, there's a certain group of vape shops that carries it, and that, of course, is shops that are dedicated to helping smokers. You know, the Vapors Depot down in Florida, they got 4 or 5 stores. They carry the product. The Vapor, believe it or not, they carry the products.
Well, hold on. No. I didn't mean it like that. What I mean is the one with the plexus coils. They sell the old Chroma kits, but I'm not saying these.
Yes.
Yeah, the new ones. By the way, I'm back. Hi, how are you? The last thing I heard was what's next, and what's next was my laptop shutting down.
That's generally what you hear in bed as well, too, Phil. What's next?
Oh, that's messed up.
My Vapor Store, my Vapor DNA, they both have the new kits. The new kits are the color kits. The color kits are the ones that come with the plexus coil. The white and the black, the old kits, we had to keep the SKU the same, so they don't come with the new plexus coil. So all of the new 22 millimeter tanks are going to come with the plexus. All of the new colored tanks are going to come with the plexus. All of the new colored kits are going to come with the plexus.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of them starting to ship and getting stock.
Yeah.
I know Vapor DNA sold out of, or my Vapor Store sold out of the plexus coils like pretty quick after they got them.
And the only reason why I say that is because I'm about to drop my video on this tomorrow. And yesterday I was looking around at some of the places, and only the ones I was seeing online were the older version. Not.
Yeah, it was hard to find. It was confusing to find the new one compared to the older one.
Yeah. Every time. Yeah, it's every time you look it up, it just pulls up the old kit. It doesn't show the new ones at all. So
I will tell you, it has been a challenge to get it. And in general, you guys know, you guys been reviewing it for a very long time. The last couple of years, Anakin has dropped off in general in the United States. They do very, very well in Europe, but their marketing and their reach here in Europe has not been what they desire. And it's one of the reasons why we're excited about the products that they're coming out. And we're going to have a big campaign in 2018 and 2019 trying to bring Anakin back up as far as the distribution, the name, and the products that they have. But it's been tough. And it's been tough when a company, you know, has kind of maintained this image of starter stuff, built-in batteries, and so forth and so forth. So it's been kind of tough trying to get in all the distributions. You know, we've been lucky. You know, we've had e-cig Gallery out in California, Demand Vape, Strictly e-cig, Kangaroo Wholesale, All Day Vapes now, Kai Chen out there in the West Coast are starting to see that, you know, with the salt craze that's going on and the need for the vape shops to bring back smokers and stuff, like it's starting to pick up a lot of steam. But you are right. It is tough trying to get the products out as fast and as in a lot of spots as we'd like to. But
yeah. My next question is, because it's like a wildfire, pretty much to say, with these pod systems. Mm-hmm. Now I know Anakin put out the EQ, but have y'all been approached to like team up and put out some type of pod system?
Yeah. I'll just jump in here first, and I'll let there's really not much that we can say about it, but we do. I can confirm if you want to put it in a pipeline. We said the 22 millimeter Zenith with a chroma, and then we have a 22 millimeter that's going to come on a tube. A lot of people have been asking for a starter kit tube, right? So we're going to have a regulated tube, built-in battery again with a 22 millimeter Zenith, and then the next product in line is it's an AIO type pod system that once again utilizes the Zenith coils. So all these products are going to utilize the Plexus, the 0.8, and the 1.6, which again I think was very, very important, not only for vape shops, but I think for vapors as well too. So it should be ready late October.
Okay.
So
awesome.
we're excited. I mean, if you can get the Plexus coil, the replaceable Plexus coil in a pod AIO type system, I think that's going to be something that's going to be very desirable, and that's what we're going to do.
So I know that you're big into pod systems. Well, you're at least doing your channel pretty much based on pod systems now. What is your thoughts on the EQ? Because, and let me give you mine real quick first.
Sure. Go ahead.
The one thing, I love the device. I love the way it feels. I love all that. But the one thing that kind of turns me away from it, I don't like to push a button when I'm using something. Yeah. I like auto draw. And do you think that this would have been a better setup with auto draw, or do you think it's better with the button?
From an engineering perspective, you got to have a button with a Plexus coil, unfortunately, right? Okay. So I always talk about instant gratification delivery of nicotine. You can't get that with an auto draw button. Every auto draw mechanism needs a primer puff, right? You got to get that, couple of puffs to get that coil hot. When it comes to the 0.5 Plexus, because you do have to have that regulated vape, you do have to have that regulated output in order to get an immediate vape, and to have that boost mode if you're going to use regular nicotine. That's why it was designed that way. You got to have a button. It's unavoidable. And I agree with you. I don't like the button. I don't. I think it's very firm to press. It's a little bit cheapy between me, you, and the entire world. But as Mike will tell you, and I think everybody that's worked with China, you got to understand how these people work. It's all about, hey, can we get this product and how cheap can we get it on the market? Yeah. So we start here, they start here, and then we kind of just kind of try to meet in the middle and trying to. I'm very happy with the way that the Plexus MTO coil came out on the EQ, and to me, and I think Phil will agree, it's about nicotine delivery, and I think that the EQ, in its class, I think it's one of the best nicotine delivery devices out there.
Yeah, I'll jump in there too, Scott, because I just did the review of the EQ yesterday. I put it up the day before yesterday. Now, I think you're saying you don't like a button because you'd rather have automatic draw. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. See, and I think that's going to be a personal preference, but I also think that automatic draw is probably pretty important to a smoker because that's what they're used to. A button, a cigarette doesn't have a button, right?
Correct.
But for me as a vapor, I actually prefer, and I think this is going to be, when it comes to vapors, it's going to be what do you prefer? What do you like better? I personally like buttons better, right? I don't like automatics because I don't feel like they react fast enough. I feel like sometimes there's a certain amount of air pressure that's required to activate it. Sometimes they get gunked up. Sometimes they stop working. So all of those reasons are why, I personally prefer a button. I like to know when I hear that click or I feel that tactile click, things are happening, right?
Gotcha.
Now, but to the EQ, although I like a button better, I wish they had done the button itself better, right? So, and I even said this in the video, right? There's a mushy and a stiffness and a crunchiness as that button is going in before it actually makes that tactile click and, things start to happen. So, I like the button better. I think it also needs a better way to let you know when your battery is low, because right now it's basically high to low, and you don't know where it is in that high to low. Yeah. It's always white. The other thing that I don't like about it is I can't tell what mode I'm in unless I'm in the mode, we'll call it a submenu, right? So if I'm in boost and I'm just firing it, I don't know if I'm in boost without going into that dialogue, right? If I'm in normal, I don't know if I'm in normal. So those to me are the thumbs down with the product. The thumbs up, obviously filling. I think that's super easy to do, right? I hate plugs. I hate plugs. And the other thing I noticed, if I'm using it with a 20 milligram salt nick, I could be in normal mode. But if I use a 12 milligram freebase, which is my liquid of choice, right, I can be in boost mode and get a satisfying vape from a package in its size category, right? Gotcha. So, just like anything else, I'm not going to kiss anybody's ass, just because I work close with them. If a product has issues, I tell people about the issues. But as far as vape quality, I love it.
Yeah, I think the reason why Scott likes not having a button is because he got used to vaping the Smoke Infinix.
Yeah.
Now the Infinix doesn't have that issue that you were talking about, Dimitri. You don't need the primer puff, this or nothing. Off that first hit of it sitting, it's cold, it's satisfying.
Right. Yeah,
they've nailed it with their pod. Their pod auto draw is awesome, but it does have that fallback to where if liquid leaks inside there, it could create auto firing.
Right.
Obviously, these devices don't last long because of that reason, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess the liquid messes up the auto fire.
Absolutely right.
Abilities on here, and they stop working.
Yeah, if you get to the point where they're $20, you're screw it. Just toss it and get another one. That's the way I see it. The drop.
You know what this is? You know what I consider these pods? That, like you said, this is like a lighter.
Like a lighter.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
I don't know. You're always buying lighters.
Yes.
So you're buying.
I feel exactly the same way. The drop in the air, they have problem with the auto switches. Everybody knows that, right? But it's $20 now, right? You just toss it after a couple months or whatever and get another device. I get it. I think that there's a lot of stuff that could go wrong with an auto draw device. But the biggest issue for me is how satisfying this is how I find myself. The Smoat S8, I love it. I still love it. It's one of my favorite pod systems that's out there. It has that same thing. It has a little boost chip inside it. As soon as you draw on that automatic, it bumps it up a little bit and then just brings the wattage down. That to me is a satisfying vape. I need that if I'm going to use a pod, especially because I travel so much. I gotta have that instant hit of nicotine.
Yeah.
And in most of the pod systems, especially with automatic switch, I just don't get that. I don't like taking that 2 or 3, primer puff. I have the Kama now. I actually left it in the kitchen while I was talking to my wife and kids. But The Kama is the same way. I love it. It has on the screen. It has a little screen that tells you the puff indicator. So I was looking at the puffs. I was doing the battery comparison for the review yesterday. I got like 370 puffs out of it. I was like, wow, 370 puffs. But when I vape it, I take 4 puffs because it takes me a couple primer puffs to warm it up and then a couple of puffs. So actually every 4 puffs is literally 1 puff out of it. You know, to me, that's a lot.
Even when the airflow is like too wide open, it's too hard to get the auto draw feature going. Like on that mod that Mike has, I can't stand vaping on that thing. It's so hard to get it going. Like
that's how this is.
Yeah, like it's so the mouthpiece is so large.
Yeah, but it's also you're vaping 12 milligram nicotine in there. I have it with 19, and it's fucking good. The flavor is awesome off this.
Yeah, we got to try that.
I had to suck so hard to get it to go.
Here's the prime example. This one right here. If I pull on it, you see the green light. See how it's coming on and on? It's just not firing all the time. You really gotta like have like a P. Busardi and suck on it. Watch.
Oh, I see what you did.
There we go.
Yeah.
You get it going.
Thank you for demonstrating your suckage, Dimitri. But you know what? I mean, this is what I notice about a lot of products, like what Mike just said, right? This is what, you got to think about this when, like, especially when I'm doing the reviews, like how something will not work for one person at all, and how that very same thing is absolutely perfect for another person, right? So you have a device like that pod, and like me, who likes a tighter draw and a 12 milligram, doesn't want to use salts, that's probably not going to work for me at all. For somebody who likes a little bit of a looser draw, and maybe they're using a 20 or a 40 or even a 50 salt, right? That's going to be like the perfect device for them. So it's like how we vape has gone in so many different directions now. Like, unless you have a device and you push the button and it explodes, right? Well, that's a thumbs down. But you have to think about, well, who would like this device? There's probably somebody out there who would like how this vapes, even if it's not how I like how it vapes, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys would love this thing. I'm sorry, this thing is awesome.
What is that? Oh,
I bet you that's spectacular, Mike.
Yeah, the power it gives.
Yep.
The power it gives to the coil.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Amazing. How long does it last?
I've refilled this pod so far maybe 5 times.
No, battery life.
It's a 950 milliamp hour battery.
Okay.
The issue that I have with that, and I've discussed this privately with a couple of people, is that they should have made it replaceable coil. You know,
the size comparison with the EQ,
instead of making it replaceable pod completely. Plus, it's pricey. I heard.
Yeah, because the pods are probably going to cost a lot of money with that cap on there and the drip tip on there and all that.
That's the one.
And the device itself is expensive as well too. So when you get
$79 for that.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, the pods are going to be expensive. I'm looking at it. I'm like, wow, they're going to have to sell them with the drip tip.
So here's my argument, and I'm gonna piss off probably a few people, and you know it won't be the first time. But if you're really going after smokers, if that's really your goal, because that device is catering to vapors. I'm sorry, and vapors are gonna buy it. Smokers are not gonna buy it. If you're really going after that demographic, you really got to think about price. You know, for somebody to drop $79 on a device like that in a vape shop when they can buy a smoke 3 battery mod for $39 next to it, you know, it's nearly impossible. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen.
This is for the hobbyists.
That's what I was going to say. That
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But here we have technology that could possibly help a smoker, because that replay function can really help a smoker, especially if they can have that draw that they like and it's a satisfying vape, and we're just not utilizing it for smokers. So it's again catering to the existing people. And God, there's a fucking pod every week coming out, every day coming out now, right?
It is crazy for as many.
So again, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here, guys, is that if that's the goal, they miss the mark. And again, if you're going after the vapors themselves, again, you're competing in a market where people are selling this for $20.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Lost Vape their goal was to go for the market of the beginner in any of their products that they've ever released. If you think about it.
Right.
A200s are for beginners.
So don't you think that Mike, that we need more products that are going to get into the hands of smokers?
Yeah, but we have plenty of those. There are a lot out there.
Right, but not with this function.
Oh, this function. Well, you got to remember something too. This function is Evolve.
Yeah.
It's pricing.
It costs more money.
Yeah.
So,
It's a
Mike,
the chipset is a US made chipset.
right, Mike, can you tell me like how does replay work on that? Where does replay come into play?
All right, like right now, let me like right now, you see a little green light?
Yep.
That's showing me it's in replay mode. Now, if I take the pod out, remove it,
Yep.
and put the pod back in, now I press the fire button, it's not green no more.
Right.
It's out of replay. It's got 3 levels of strength, low, medium, and high. I have it on low because it hits hard at low. It's the chipset does up to 40 watts. It'll push to that 0.25 coil that's in here right now. Now, if I want to go into replay, actually I'm going to take a couple of hits. When I find the hit that I like,
It actually looks like the Pac-Man are coming out of the device.
so let's say that hit right there, I like the way it hit.
Right.
So I take this button, keep it pressed. See it turn green?
Yeah.
Now I'm in replay mode. Now it's going to replicate that same vape for me. Now, do I notice the replication of the vape? No.
Okay, so let me ask you this: is it using temperature control? If the pod gets low?
Now, I've tested it, and as liquid is starting to drop, when I hadn't liquid it, I felt the power throttling down on it.
Okay.
So right there, then I looked, I'm like, what's going on here? And I looked, I'm like, I need liquid.
Okay, so do you know what the coil material is?
Stainless steel.
Okay.
They have 2 coils. One is a 0.25 resistance. The other one's a 0.5.
Okay, so I think really, in a nutshell, that's what replay is. Replay is temperature control for dummies, right? There's no setting up. There's nothing like that. It's you find a vape you like. You know, the chip does all kinds of reading as to what it's looking at. It's looking at power. It's looking at change of resistance. It's probably looking at a whole bunch of different things. And then you lock that in, and it recreates it, but it recreates it in a way so that it's still not going to burn. It's still looking for dry coil.
Basically, what replay is, it's replicating that vape that you wanted to save into the device.
Mhm.
And it's also going to alert you when you need to add liquid.
Right.
It's not going to do temp control,
Right.
but it's basically telling you it's time to put liquid.
Right.
Either in aspects of the DNA 250 chip, it's telling you drip or refill your tank, or for the pod, it's telling you refill your pod. It's time. It's an alert, which is a cool feature, because the worst thing you want to do is, especially on pods that are probably going to be expensive to begin with, is get a dry hit and burn that coil.
Well, I mean, the dry hit is also formaldehyde production too, right? So you want to stay away from that.
Yeah.
So
No, I think replay, like if it's supposed to like replay the same exact vape you got, and if your juice is getting lower or your battery's getting lower, it shouldn't throttle it down. It should like stop it from vaping until you refill it, so you can repeat that same exact vape.
No, you still have liquid in there.
Yeah, but it's
Throttling down. You'll know.
Yeah, but that kind of defeats the purpose of the replay, because you're not getting that same vape.
Yes, you are. As soon as you put the liquid in, it goes to that memory mode.
So even though the liquids, even though you don't have as much liquid in there, you're still getting that same vape?
No, that's where it's letting you know to refill it. And it brings you right back to that level. That's your alert.
Yeah.
You don't get. I don't know how you don't get that.
Well, it's like
It's
vaping
like,
on.
1 second, Phil. It's like when your batteries are dying. Do you realize it?
Well, there's some, like, okay, it's
No, when your batteries are dying on your mod, you realize your batteries are dying.
on certain mods, yeah. Other mods,
Okay,
no.
when you put the batteries in, you're back to normal.
Yeah.
Same thing with the replay. When you drop the liquid in, you're back to normal.
But see, there's some mods, if you're vaping at 50 watts and the batteries are too low, it'll say 50 watts on the screen. You're just not getting 50 watts. And then there are other mods that just won't even allow you to vape because it can't do 50 watts.
But even when you're vaping at that wattage, you're not getting, you'll know that hit feels weak. That you're taking, you're like, this is not doing what it's supposed to do. And you look at your batteries, and you're saying, oh, my batteries are practically dead. And you swap the batteries out.
All right.
So it's like the same situation. Go ahead, Phil. I'm sorry.
No. I was actually going to say exactly what you said there. It's basically like what some mods do with batteries, only it's doing with liquid, right? Just like Fagan said, that there are some mods where you if you're set for 50 watts, you feel that 50 watts until the batteries can't do it, and the mod tells you no, I can't do it. There's some mods. I mean, even the DNAs, they throttle, right? When he can't reach 50 watts, they throttle back. And that's kind of what it's doing with the liquid. And I would imagine that's just a design decision, right? They could have gone in two different ways there. They could have said, okay, the coil resistance is changing too much. I know the liquid is low. I can either throttle or I could shut it down and force the user to put more e-liquid in. And I'm sure that's just a design decision at that point, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with the name like Replay, you would think it would shut down and tell the user to replace the liquid so you can get that same vape.
Right. The replay part of the name is you're replaying the vape that you've been taking. That satisfying vape that you just took, and you put it in replay mode. You want to replay that satisfying vape. That's why they call it replay. But the replay doesn't only have that function. It's also the function of where it's going to also alert you when you need to add liquid.
Gotcha.
Well, I know too, Mark. Mark, you've got a couple of 250Cs, but I don't think you've really ever messed around with your replay on those, have you?
Because if it's not going to...
It's easy to do. I mean,
No, I would rather have it prevent me from vaping and add liquid so I can get the same vape rather than throttle it down. Because if it's going to throttle it down, then...
That's just letting you know, time to put liquid.
It's like a dummy
replay. That's where you would take that hit and... Oh fuck!
I agree with Fagan on this one. Sorry, Mike, but I think that as experienced vapors, right? As experienced vapors, we can manually do that.
Oh yeah, I agree on that too.
I think that there is a little bit of a gimmicky feel there for that type. But then I get it as well too, because we've pretty much done everything when it comes to coil wire. So we have to come up with something new, right? That's gonna.
But there's also vapors out there that don't have the experience we have. That have been vaping for a little while, to where they are entering that hobbyist level. They want to buy stuff. They like all different stuff. They like, different ventures of vaping, and that's going to help them out. Maybe they don't have that sense that some of us have, to where we already know. For me, I do temp control on my own. I can't remember the last time I dry hit. I know when I have to re-drip.
Right.
By that vape, I just thought, I need to add liquid in there, that last vape.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, no. Also, if you're easily distracted, if someone gets easily distracted, you'll make that move.
Another name, I think. They should have called it something different than replay.
What do you want them to call it? The Nada?
They come out with some great names.
They should have called it. They should have called it Fagan Fabulous.
There's a Greek word for a dry hit that's called kapsuli, which is a really funny word. Just sounds really funny, kapsuli. But during the Easter, when they have the resurrection of Christ at the church, they throw these. They're little like little firecrackers that you throw them down on the floor and they startle, right? That's exactly what that translation is. So when you take a vape and it's like really like that, you feel like you got a capsule in your mouth. Should have called it capsule, I think.
Look what I'm doing.
Here we go.
I am replaying for the very first time.
Wow.
There you go.
I'm replaying.
Look at replay virginity.
Yep.
What kind of coil do you have in that?
What's that?
What kind of coil do you have in there?
In this here coil?
Yes.
Can't though.
It won't work.
I'm fucking with you. Of course it's not.
Oh my god. You got me. I wanted to get you.
Steel.
I wanted to get you, but you got me. So thank you.
Stainless steel.
Now, the one thing, just to go back to it, the one thing I could say, for me, I like the part where it lets me know when to put liquid, but the replicating the vape, I think, in my opinion, it's kind of a crock of shit.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because I cannot tell.
I do love the fact that when the liquid gets down low, especially for a new vapor, it is a very, very important thing. But is it economically feasible for a new vapor to pick up a device?
No, it's not for a new vapor.
Right? So this is what I'm saying, is that either you're trying to do it for a new vapor.
But there is another 588 different pod systems.
Right.
For the new vapor.
Right.
They can make that one that's for the hobbyist.
But I think that a lot of the marketing did fall under that category of, this is going to help a new vapor prevent them from having that dreaded dry hit where they say, vaping sucks, right? Because I think a lot of new vapors go through that stage. And if you're not willing to work through that, this could actually prevent it. But the way that it's set up now, economically, it's not feasible.
Didn't who was it? Vaporesso
Nexus, yeah, the Nexus does it,
The
and it does
Nexus
it well.
thing, they have some sort of temp control system in it.
It does. It does stop working when the liquid is low inside, and it's done pretty well, and it's done cheap.
Doesn't the bow have that too?
I don't know.
I think I heard that the bow does have that, but I've never experienced.
I haven't either, and I've used my bow quite a bit. So, but it's supposed to technically have temperature control on it.
You know how we'll know if replay is a gimmick or not?
How's
If
that?
if every Chinese company puts it on their device as well. Only they'll call it WePlay.
replay.
Oh Lord,
That's a good one.
what is So what's next on the what I like to call y'all's world tour? Where's the next world tour taking y'all to?
Greece first. Mike, you need to come to that show. September the 8th and 9th, we'll be in Athens, Greece for the Vape Expo. They're very, very excited. Obviously, with my business there in Greece and the distribution of Vinikin products in the store, and we have to have a presence at the show. So me and Phil are going down to Athens. We're going to actually spend 10 days there.
Opa.
We're going to do like a little tour of some of the stores that I work with. And of course, we'll be at the event itself. Then late September, we'll be at the Midwest Vapor Expo. I think you're going to see a lot more Anakin at vape shows in the United States this year, which we've kind of missed in the last 2 years. Is one of the things you said earlier, Scott, about why you're not seeing these products. I think Anakin's focused so much on Europe that they kind of left the U.S. market behind. So we're trying to change that this year and try to do a few shows in the United States and get the products into the hands of distributors, vape shops, as well as vapors. So after Midwest and Indiana, we're doing Paris at the beginning of October, Birmingham, UK at the end of October, and Vegas at the beginning of November.
Sweet.
Yeah, I had a few of my Greek peeps message me. You coming to Greece? You coming to Greece?
Come hang out with us, man. It's gonna be cool. I'll sponsor you. I'll cut the check. Tell me how much it is.
The fires didn't have any situation with y'all.
Yeah. The fires were 30 minutes away from my house, actually in some of the beaches that me and the kids have been before. So it was very devastating for us. But thankfully, my family and everybody that I know there is safe. A lot of people died just senselessly. And, it sucks. There were man-made fires. This happens in Greece all the time. I think in this situation, the wind, which was really uncontrollable on that day, I think it registered on the scale of 12 as far as the winds was concerned. I didn't think they took that really under consideration on how fast the fire moved, and it trapped a lot of people. And it was simply a tragedy.
You know what's pretty crazy is that, and it was just today, I seen a Facebook video. You might have seen it yourself. Somebody was actually on their phone or something filming the fire coming up to their house.
Yeah.
And he saved his cat or something
yes,
like that.
Yes.
And I cannot believe they made it through that right there. But that was crazy how fast that was moving.
When I was in the army in Greece, they send a lot of times the army because there's just not enough people in Greece in the fire department. So when I was in the army in Greece, I was stationed on the island of Rhodes, and they did send us to a fire. And basically what they would do is they would take us to places that were burnt already, and they'd spread out the army to kind of look if things reignite. That was our job. But one morning, we were in the big truck. There was like 18 of us in the truck, just kind of sleeping on each other. Not in that way. It's just that there's really nowhere else to sleep, so we just kind of sleeping in there. And we hear all this yelling, and the fire was coming up the mountain. And literally, like within seconds, it had just swept. The wind is just. These are forces that humans cannot compete with. It really is scary. And that's exactly what happened in the situation there. And 90 people died senselessly, really.
It's crazy. Oh, man. Well, let's stay
That's fucking depressing.
I know. I was fixing to say, let me turn this around real quick. So you got trips lined up and all that. You got product about to release. Y'all just staying as busy as ever.
We're trying. I think one of the great things about we're really hands-on, as I'm sure you guys are with your products. You really want to spend, and we're fortunate enough that we're able to go to China and actually sit down with the engineers, because I'm sure everybody here has had that experience of translation, gaps when you're trying to deal with China. So it's really, really easier for us when we're actually there sitting in the office, and an engineer that does not speak any English can come into the room with a translator, and we try to translate the feeling, the passion of vaping, which is really, really hard to do through a Skype call or a conference call and so forth. So we're really, really excited. And when we have a new project manager as well too, Kathy, that's working with us there.
Love Kathy.
Yeah, we didn't have a dedicated project manager before. Now we have a dedicated project manager, and she's really just, go get him. Like, she'll tell the engineers, just make it happen, right?
It's actually quite comical. I mean, we spend most of our time when we're there at the whiteboard. I mean, literally. And there's two engineers that I'm quite sure when we leave, they hang themselves, or they're extremely relieved when we leave, because we try to explain what we want to do, and before you know it, there's an entire Chinese argument going on that we have no idea, but we know that we said something wrong, or we did something wrong, or we designed something wrong, and they're not happy with it. But it's good to have Kathy now, because now she fires back. Kathy understands that we need to do some of these things to compete, right? And it's good having Kathy on the team. But I can only imagine how those engineers are cursing at us in Chinese while we're there.
Yeah.
Do any of the engineers or designers at Anakin vape or no?
No, they're not vapors. They're not vapors. The only people that are full-time vapors is George, which is one of the owners. And a couple of the people on the sales team are actually smokers that convert into vapors. And one of the guys at the factory that is an engineer, but he handles mostly quality control in the lines and stuff like that. He's a former smoker that's a vapor, which is, let me tell you, it's 90% more the entire Chinese manufacturing. So it's just smoking it's the culture there. Everybody smokes.
So let me ask you this. So obviously they're going to take a break at some point in time. Does everybody come out of the factory and go like pile up and smoke somewhere?
Generally the factory workers, no, you don't see that. It's generally some of the upper management and some of these, as the higher it's also, smoking is also, a class, a cultural class kind of thing in China. So the higher up you go on the scale, the more expensive cigarettes you have, and it's more of a status kind of thing as well too. But you go into restaurants and people just light up. It's just like it used to be here years ago.
Oh, all the time. Scott, did I ever tell you the Ovali story when we did the Ovali holiday party? So we were at the holiday party for Ovali, which is I think it's a subset of Joytech. And they wanted me to go up on stage and give a little speech to the employees. So I go up on stage. And,
now, granted, before he goes up, he asked me, right? He asked me, he's like, what should we talk about? I said, you should talk about your experience with vaping and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, that's a good idea. Go ahead, Phil. Sorry.
Are you done interrupting now?
Go ahead. Well, I have to put that in there too.
I just want to make sure.
I'm a little bit delayed.
So I go up there and I give my story of vaping, and I start thanking them for the products that they're creating to for a healthier lifestyle and for tobacco harm reduction and for all this stuff. And as I'm giving this speech, I'm looking out at a crowd of everybody who's smoking.
Everybody. The entire room is smoking.
The entire room is smoking. So I come back down, I sit down, Dimitri turns to me, goes, you need to rethink that speech for the next time.
So I go up, I don't even mention nothing about smoking. I just started thanking everybody. I was like, thank you very much. They actually had a pack of cigarettes on every placemat. So you had your plate, your fork, your knife, and there was a red pack of cigarettes on every.
Oh my gosh!
Because that actually means good luck to them too.
Yeah.
I mean, even all the times that we've been back, even though everybody knows that we're hardcore diehard vapors, we're still offered cigarettes, right? And when we say no to that cigarette, we are potentially offending people. I mean, I've done that, where I've said, no, thank you. I was very polite, very cordial, and I turned around and I walked away, and somebody had to go back and smooth out the situation that I just created by not accepting that cigarette, right? So it's really in the culture. It's really part of the culture.
So with the companies that you've dealt with over there, and I'm certain you've talked to what seems like an endless amount of people that are there making vaping products, do they look at it as, hey, this is a money-making business and this is what we're doing? Or do they look at it as, hey, I'm saving people's lives by making this product?
I'll tell you again, I don't want to sound like I'm praising Anakin, with the exception of George and James, that really have focused on the smoker for the last 8 years. And even for Anakin as well, too, it's a money-making business. There is no THR. There is none of that. Now, China is all about quantity, volume, business. It really is.
Yeah.
I think because George has had experience of cancer in his life with his dad from smoking, and his dad actually 77 years old, I think, is vaping for the last couple of years. I think for him, he takes it a little bit more serious. And you can tell if you look at the Facebook Lives that we did from there and some of the notes that George and Phil have posted, you can tell that there is some passion there.
Yeah, I put a Facebook post up while I was there. Something happened there that really kind of touched me. Was a lot of times when we get emails behind the scenes, or Anakin gets emails behind the scenes when somebody has used the product, either the platform product or the Anakin product, successfully and came off of cigarettes because of the product. We share a lot of those emails between each other. I mean, it makes us feel good.
Yeah, it really does.
And George sent one to me, and he said, "Here, Phil, look at this. I want you to read this." And I read it, and it was a beautiful, beautiful email thanking the company. How many years I smoked. I finally got off of cigarettes using your product. Thank you. God bless you. All this other stuff. And so he left me. He went to a desk. He's sitting at his laptop, and in his broken English, he said, make feel really good. Make feel really good inside. Know that give people health, give people long life. Yeah. Right. So, I mean, George may be the exception, but George is definitely somebody who gets it in that company. He really, really does.
I agree.
And I think for him, yeah, it's a business. They got to make money. They got to survive. They got employees that they got to, give employment to. But I think it's a little bit beyond that with George. At least
plus with the employees, they're not there because they're there to save people's lives. They need to work.
Right. Absolutely.
It's a job for them.
Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, they got to live. I think that we put up the China video. Phil did all the work. I just looked good. But we put up the China video yesterday, and most of the comments are really good. But there's always a couple of comments like, oh, I wish we had these jobs back in the United States, but we're not slaves like the Chinese people. It's just fucking ridiculous. I mean, people got to work and make a living. And just that perception that some people have, I think is completely wrong. To them, they're very, very fortunate and very appreciative to have a job that they can provide for their families. And that is the culture as well, too. We need to work, and we're very grateful that we're able to work. No matter what, if they're not making e-cig parts, they're going to be making washer machine parts, or they're going to be making phones, or they're going to be making something else. I think they're very, very fortunate to be able to have that job and provide for their family. Yeah. So that's what it boils down to. Yeah. It's a money.
That was one of my first experiences in China. I was at a dinner table, and I dropped a napkin, or I dropped something on the floor, and I went to pick it up, and they said, no, don't do that. And I said, why? They said, there's somebody here to do that. That's their job, and it's very important to them, right? So it's nice to hear things like that. And, as far as the whole slave comment, that really pisses me off. I mean, anybody who can compare that to slavery needs to understand what slavery is, okay? And I know you have to get on your show, Dimitri, so we got to drop off here pretty soon. But
you can stay if you want to. You can stay all you want.
I mean, these people are not chained to their desks. They're not forced to work. They can come and go as they please. I think they work a standard it's an 8-hour day, right? They get an hour for lunch. They get a half an hour nap time, which I love nap time. I think America should adopt nap time. But yes. I mean, they're just
food. They get shelter. They get apartments to stay in and all that. And if you think about the overall scope of price, because in Greece the starting salary right now is 680 euros. Okay, in Greece, this is the starting salary for people. A month, right? 680. In China, the bottom factory line workers make about $300 a month, but they're provided housing and they're provided food. So if you translate that housing and food, you're looking at, I mean, anywhere you're going to stay in an apartment, you need a couple $100s a month. If you're going to share an apartment, plus you need a couple $100s a month to eat. So they're making about $700 a month, really. Yeah. It's not that bad. I mean, a starting job here in the United States is $8 an hour too. I mean, that's really literally what you're bringing home is probably $800 a month. So don't think about it. As you go up the chain, if you're a supervisor, if you're a floor supervisor, you make more money as well too. But it's not as bad as people make it think. Another comment that really pissed me off in the video is if you look at the video where they're actually making coils, and I highly suggest that you do that because I think that not only Anakin, but a lot of Chinese companies have stepped up their game. I don't know if you remember the videos that we did 3-4 years ago. People were seeing the coils being made by hand. It now has a full ISO facility for making only coils. But they have this little blue band that's attached to a wire, which it's to prevent static, from shocking you. People somebody made a comment on like their chain, and it like zaps them if they leave them alone.
That sounds like some shit Mark would get started up or something.
I'm gonna attach it to your nipples.
Oh gosh.
All right, I gotta jump off. I got a lot of important stuff to talk about, but just briefly, starting August 23rd, the Recurve and every other product that comes out of China will have a 25% tariff imposed on it. Make America great again. It's been passed, so this is very, very important. I'm going to talk about that tonight. I'm going to talk about Scott Gottlieb, so that's what I'm going to be talking on Smoke Free Radio. The tariffs have affected electronic cigarettes.
Oh, it has.
Yes.
Well, definitely.
When does that go into effect?
August 23rd.
There you go.
Wow. That's like, what, week after next?
Yep. So buy all you can right now before they go up 25%.
Crazy.
Buy a lot of recurves, buy a lot of drops, buy a lot of zenith.
D, I'll be over there in a few minutes, okay?
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming on.
And Mark and Mike, I love you guys. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care, brother. All
Did,
right.
Wasn't it Matt or somebody who said a while ago that it didn't apply to vaping? It was somebody. I could have swore it was.
No, they said that one of the things was vaping.
Yeah.
Matt
I swore. Oh, okay.
Yeah, prices are going to go up.
Because people kept asking about it in chat, and then someone mentioned that it doesn't apply to vaping. But I guess
I think there's like a certain aspect to it. There's a certain part, certain something that is affected by vaping. Dimitri's, he's the expert on all that shit.
Yeah, I'll tell you something now. They're going to slow down with products coming out of China.
Yeah, we also said that about 8.8, and that didn't do anything. We'll see.
This is money. This is different. This is, if prices are going to go up, they're not going to be producing a mod every week now. Unless they don't have it, because they're not going to be.
It could be, or it could be the exact opposite. It's going to affect their bottom line, so they need to release more product.
who eats the difference in cost? The consumer, or like who's going to pay that difference?
Oh, we are, man.
The whole percent, like the whole 25%.
I mean, it'll probably be across the board. I mean, everybody's going to take a hit, right? The consumer's going to take a hit. The distributor's going to take a hit. The shop's going to take a hit. I think it's a matter of who can take the most of the hit and still keep the prices as close to they were before, right? So who knows what's going to happen?
Now, someone said in the chat, anything with a PCB.
Yeah, there you go.
So tanks and RDAs and stuff won't be affected.
Maybe not. Like I said, Dimitri's the person to ask. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Hey, by the way, Mike, I don't know if you realized it, but I changed my background color to red just so that I could be on the show and not look like a complete copy of you.
Look at mine, huh? I got all blue. Look, the blue skyline.
It's really nice. Very attractive.
Very nice, right? Thank you.
Yeah.
I have seen some interesting pictures on your screen.
Mini Dimitri. There.
Mini D.
Have you seen yourself on the screen, Scott?
I have. I do appreciate that. I love that. That's awesome. I wish you would just have that like on every video you do. I mean, that would
no. It's actually over my bed in the bedroom, which is a much more important place to have it. No, actually, that picture that we all took together is up there too.
Yep, definitely. Well, look, we need to do some giveaways real quick from the sponsors on here. I apologize that I hadn't looked at chat that much tonight, but this is just one of those shows that I'm more in depth on what's going on with the show than I am in chat, so I apologize tonight. But first, Mark, you want to pull up our little randomizer real quick?
Hell yeah. Let's
First of all, from Brad's Vapor tonight, we are going to be doing a GR2 and some Cotton Bacon Prime. So, yeah, go ahead and do your X1s. I see them cranking already.
All right, I'm ready when you are.
I tell you what, Mr. Phil, why don't you give us a number to pull?
69.
I knew it.
I knew that was coming.
Felt that one.
Am I that predictable? Sorry.
Well, we all do that for some reason when we get asked to say a number.
All right, here we go. Spectre, congratulations. NS5RD, Spectre, congratulations.
All right. Also, again, just to make this clear, my mind's not with it. You have to be a U.S. resident on these giveaways. I apologize for that, but that's just the way it is.
Oh, Spectre, I think, lives in North Korea.
Oh,
Yep.
dadgummit, well, you're out of luck. All right, now we're going to do the Camelot giveaway. That one's going to be 2 bottles of Exclusive Reserve, a Paladin RDA, and 2 sets of Griffin coils. So, Mike, you want to give us a number?
27.
27. All right, here we go.
That's my age. How cool.
That's why I said 27.
There
Thank
it
you.
is.
You're welcome.
Nick Moretti, Moretti.
All
Moretti?
right.
All right.
Already.
If both of y'all will contact me at stvapes72@gmail.com, I need a picture, photo ID, and an email address all in one big package for me, and we will get those shipped out. So thank you again to our sponsors for that. Big thank you to my man, Mr. Phil, over here. I haven't...
Hey, wait a second. Can we do another giveaway? Is that okay?
Certainly, if you'd like to.
Let's do a Chroma Zenith kit. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. How do you want to do this?
I want you to pick a number. Can you pick a number?
My number is gonna be...
What's up with your voice? You sound a little raspy. Are you a little raspy tonight?
I could be. I'm a little tired, but
Yeah, you sound a little tired.
yeah. I think I'm gonna give this one a 56.
56. That's not my age, by the way.
No, that would be more pushing my age, probably.
All right, who won it?
56 is nobody. Can we do it again? 56.
Perfect. I'm out of here. No, go ahead.
56 is going to be Nick Gregory. Nick Gregory.
Hey, congratulations, Nick Gregory. You are the big wiener.
There you go. What's he need to do?
I did that in my best radio voice. Scott, do me a favor. If you can get Nick's information and just capture everything that you need, get it to me and I'll ship it out to him, okay?
Okay. Same thing. stvapes72@gmail.com. I'm going to need a photo ID and send me an email address, and I'll send that over to Mr. Phil there. Mr. Busardo.
Thanks for saying my name the right way.
I know. I'm always good at stuff like that.
Not Busardo?
No, it's exactly the way it's spelled. Busardo. Busardo. Yep, Busardo.
Hey, Busardo. Hey.
Busardo. That's right.
Hey.
That's right. Hey, Mike, do you speak Greek?
Yes.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then please don't come to Greece.
No. No, actually, if I was hoping I'd be hanging out with you.
All right. Okay. Well, then do come to Greece. Absolutely.
I speak Greek, but not fluently the way Dimitri speaks it.
Okay.
You know the way you're that guy that's just sitting there like, oh, shit, what are these guys talking about? You know what I'm talking about, right?
It's horrible.
I'd be sitting there like trying to tell you, I think they said, I'll be that guy.
True story. Real quick. So my next door neighbor here in Florida, really, really, really nice people. So they invite me over for dinner one night. Cooked a beautiful meal, like pan-seared scallops, like just really nice. These guys in the restaurant business. And so I thought he was Italian. He looks Italian. He acts Italian. Everything about him is Italian. And I said, "Are you Italian? You're from Italy?" He goes, "No, I'm from Greece." I'm like, "Fuck, another one." I can't get away from them. I swear to God. Oh yeah, like my time in Greece will be spent mostly looking at my phone because once Dimitri gets there, like English turns off. It like literally turns off. And I said, like, please include me in some of the conversations, for God's sake.
That's when you go live on Facebook and just have your own little party, right?
I should. Yeah, we tried to do Facebook Lives in China. I am blown away that in the country where they make all of the equipment for the internet, it's like fucking impossible to get internet. It's just unbelievable. It really, really is. Everything is blocked. YouTube is blocked. Facebook is blocked. Google is blocked. So if you want to do anything, you got to get on a VPN. So you're at the mercy of the VPN speed, and then you're at the mercy of just China internet speed. Couldn't do anything. We got one Facebook Live out, and that was it.
Damn, that sucks right there.
Oh, it's pretty, especially for Dimitri, because he's like social media butterfly. That guy right there.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Yeah, you would think of that a country that like, I mean, Samsung and all that shit's in, that you would just be
All there.
Yeah.
All about technology.
Wow, that's crazy.
But when you go back to Hong Kong, everything's open again.
Damn. I got one more question for you. How is that retirement home treating you?
Jesus Christ. Did Dimitri leave you questions like when my PC dropped before?
Nope.
It's not a retirement home. Actually, I work more here than I ever worked in New York. You know, everybody thinks it's like, oh, it's all fun and games. Yesterday, I'm still getting used to the time difference again because, you know, China's like complete out, right? So I'm finally starting to get used to it. But now all of a sudden I'm like waking up at like 6:30 in the morning. I don't know why that's happening. But so I started working on the China video yesterday morning at 8 o'clock. I got done with it about 7 o'clock. And then Dimitri and I had a whole bunch of other things to do. So it was like, I mean, back when I was in corporate America, there were 8-hour days. When you work for yourself, there's no such thing as an 8-hour day anymore. There's really not. I mean, Mike knows. I mean, Mike's
always working.
There you go. I mean, you know, you're pumping out the reviews. I'm doing all kinds of things. I just wish that I could do more reviews, you know, and I feel like I'm not. I feel like I'm letting people down when it comes to the reviews, but there's just only so many hours in the day. There really is.
Well, I think people understand, and I mean, people that follow you see you enough on Facebook and other social media platforms to know that you travel a whole lot and you're busy. You know, you're handling your business. So
yeah, you know, if there's only one thing that I could do in social media that I'm doing right now would be the Smoker Show. If I could drop everything else that I'm doing, it would be continue to do the Smoker Show, because to me right now, that's the most important thing that I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a good show. I wish we could have touched on that a little bit more, but I know we were.
No, that's okay. And I want to jump on Dimitri's show now anyway. So.
Well, and even at that, we are about to cut out. Well, we are cutting out of here. We've had an hour, but Phil, again, I appreciate you coming on. As always, love having you on here, and Dimitri.
My absolute pleasure, Scott. Anytime. Mark, Mike, anytime, man. I like Dimitri. I love you guys. You know, I've really been blessed with meeting some of the best people that I know because of this industry. Some of the worst too. But luckily, we are not in that company right now.
Exactly.
So thank you, guys. I really do enjoy, you know, hanging out on the show, and I enjoy your company.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
And we are out of here. Again, you know, all the stuff I'm normally going to say, I'm not going to say it tonight. Just be looking for my show again next week. We'll leave it at that. We're out of here. Good night.